Welcome to the Space in Between podcast, a series where we will talk about everything and anything mental performance in a bite-sized fashion.
My name is Sienna, and this is
Frida.
We are both certified mental performance consultants from Ireland and
Sweden.
On this podcast, we share all of our knowledge, which is extensive, and our passion for all things sport and performance psychology. This includes all things mindset, exercise, sport, everyday life, and insights into how we help ourselves and others in developing their mindset. Welcome back.
Thanks.
I mean, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
But we are back.
We are back with a bang.
And today's episode, we are talking about something very, very important.
Yes.
Which is Inside Out 2, the movie, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, great movie. Highly recommend, to be honest.
And just to preface, it's been out for like a month, so I feel like it's okay to talk about this. But if you have not seen it and you are like, I really don't want to know anything about the storyline, well, then don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah, go watch the movie and then come back.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So the reason that we are talking about this movie, because we haven't talked about a movie on this podcast, is, I mean, why do we want to talk about this?
Well, it's a great movie when it comes to psychology in general.
Yeah.
But then watching this movie, particularly like the second time now, there's a lot of sports psych that we can kind of draw from because the storyline revolves around her hockey.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I mean, most people can probably relate to what's going on in Inside Out, you know, and how the emotions are in the head and stuff. It's a great movie just for that. But extra great when we think about how they decided to tell this storyline. Mm-hmm.
And I thought the first one was great because you understand, like, you get insight into how the emotions interact with each other and how they can impact us. Yeah. But sitting watching this second one, I was like, oh my God, this is a sports psychology movie. And I have told many clients since then to watch Inside Out 2. It'll help you understand many things about yourself.
Oh, it definitely will. For anybody, not just athletes.
Yeah. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about the Inside Out movie and how they use that to portray how our emotions can impact our performance and experiences. Yeah. In life and in sport. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the impact of life on her performance and experience. Basically, just to give some context, she is going to this, like a camp for hockey. Yeah. And it's an opportunity to potentially get on the hockey team going into high school. Yeah. Yeah. So what happens on the way?
So they're in the car, her and her best friends, because they had played on the same team. And then her best friends basically tell her that, oh, we're not going to go to the same high school. Mm. And for Riley then, the main character, she is like, what? This changes everything. And then you will see how the thought of, you know, everything is going to change. She's going from wherever she has been to a new high school, new people, new friends. And her two best friends that she thought was going to be there, they're not. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what starts this whole catalyst of emotions and things that happen afterwards.
Yeah. And the reason that it's so interesting is because what they say, that they're not going to the same high school, has nothing to do with sport. Yeah. Like, nothing to do with her performance in hockey, like, if you think about it. Mm-hmm. But Riley is unable to separate the two things. Yeah. And not that she's unable, like, that's not how most of us work. Like, you know, everything that happens off the field will impact what happens on the field, and I think the movie does a really good way of portraying that. Mm-hmm. Like, this future thing that's going to happen has such a big impact on, like, even that first day she starts hanging out with new people because she's like, I need to make new friends because I need to get on the hockey team and my friends aren't going to be here, and it's just like this spiral of stuff.
So when this happens in the car, that's also when the new emotions kind of come into the movie. Mm-hmm. And anxiety being one of them. So it's very interesting how it starts to impact, like you said, the choices that she's making from getting on the team right away. Mm-hmm. Or getting to the camp right away.
Yeah. And then that goes from this is happening external to hockey, and then we see how it does impact her performance. So we see the anxiety, like, and I think they do a really good job of showing how it can start with one thing and then, like, it just starts to build up. Mm-hmm. When we can't maybe cope with it. Mm-hmm. When something happens, it, like, starts to build up and build up and build up, and maybe other people don't even notice how it's impacting you.
And you know, one of the things with anxiety too in the movie when it starts, anxiety is there to plan for the future. To make sure that, oh no, we're going to have friends in high school, so this is what we're going to do. And to get on the hockey team, we will get friends. And if we are with these players that are really good on the hockey team, then we'll really have friends because we're going to be on the, you know, this high school team and everything is going to be great.
Yeah.
So these are the things, X, Y, and Z, that we have to do to become friends with these players, show that we're really good to the coach so that, you know, we get friends and we're playing hockey and all those things.
And it's interesting how, like, the anxiety causes, like, the shift in focus from, like, it went from, oh, I have so much fun with my friends at hockey, to, I think there was a comment made about how one of the current best players on the high school team, they scored 2 goals at their trial.
Yeah, so something like that.
Riley is like, anxiety is thinking like, okay, if we score 3 goals, we'll definitely make the team. So then, like, the focus shifts from, like, having fun, enjoying the sport, to we need to score 3 goals. And we see how that causes her to become, like, a selfish player, to, like, literally take the ball off her teammates. Like, it's quite extreme, but it's a really good portrayal of how...
The ball, it's a puck.
Oh, a puck, yeah. Sorry. Like, it's a good portrayal of how having that one single outcome-based focus can really have a negative impact on your performance.
Yeah, and I mean, that's even going forward into the movie a little deeper, but before that even happens, it even goes from, okay, I'm gonna be friends with these new people. So there's a point where she's choosing, I'm either gonna be on this scrimmage team with my old friends, or I'm gonna be with the other people, like one of the best players on the team. And she chooses to be with one of the best players on the team. And then after this, she is waking up super early. Well, first and foremost, she barely can sleep. And then she wakes up super early to train really hard because, you know, that's what you got to do to prepare so that in the future you can play or do really well and score these goals and get on the team and prove to the coach that I'm serious about this.
Yeah. But working harder is not always the solution.
No, it's not always. And you can see that too with the way, like, she's barely sleeping.
Yeah.
You know.
And obviously we're talking about anxiety a lot here because, I mean, that is the most prevalent emotion because it starts to take over everything in the movie. Yeah. But in the background, you know, you have happiness or joy, anger, sadness, shame,
fear and disgust.
Yeah, we have those emotions as well. And an interesting thing that you see at the start of the movie is that, you know, these original emotions from the first movie, if you will, they have been working together to create this, like, idealistic version of the world. So they literally will dispose of negative memories, negative, like, thoughts. For example, oh, I didn't play good today. Oh, let's get rid of that thought. So, like, they have created this, you know, imaginary world for Riley. Yeah. And you see throughout the movie how those are the things that make us who we are. So, like, suppressing those thoughts and those experiences, they do eventually come back to the surface and impact Riley in a not so helpful way. Yeah,
that's an interesting thought that you just brought up there. I can't remember what they called it in the movie, but it's basically who she is as a person.
Yeah.
They have, and I can't remember, but one of the things that before anxiety kind of takes over there, it's like, I'm a good friend, or, you know, like these things. I'm happy. I can't remember exactly what they said. And then anxiety starts to, like, go down in the deep brain. I don't know what they called it. And she starts to plant, like, these other things that starts to become a part of who Riley is now. And it's a good point that you bring up there, because towards the end of the movie, all of these memories that they had tried to get rid of, they all come back. So going off of what you said there, what's really interesting when all these memories come back is that instead of Riley just being this one kind of a person, it shows that all of them weave together to be who she is today, right? Because like you said, all the things that we have been through shape us to who we are, regardless if it's positive or negative and everything in between, because we are what we have been through, right?
Yeah, I really loved that message in the movie because, like, even working with athletes, sometimes it's kind of this idea that, you know, we should always be positive, we should always be confident, you know, we should be fearless. But, like, we need all of these emotions. Like, we need anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, without anxiety, we might not plan for the hypothetical things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, we need joy because, I mean, unless we experience joy, then that's pretty bleak.
Yeah.
So, like, we need all of these things, but sometimes we might try to suppress, especially the ones we think are negative, you know? They have a negative connotation to them. So, like, trying to see them all as, like, not negative and positive. Like, anxiety isn't a negative thing. It's something that is actually serves a really important purpose in who we are.
Yeah, and all emotions do.
Yeah.
And the reason why we suppress them, like you said, because maybe we don't like to experience them, because it can be uncomfortable to feel anxious or sad or feel fear.
Mm-hmm.
A part in the movie that's really cool that I think stands out to a lot of people is kind of when it reaches the height of her anxiousness. So she basically has a panic attack.
Yeah.
And at this point, anxiety is trying so hard to score these 3 girls to be, you know, the top player. But then she kind of loses control. Yeah. And joy and the main emotions in the first movie, they're trying to like stop her. But then she's just at the control center and she can't do anything. Mm-hmm. And you can see that little anxiety even has like tears in her eyes. And then joy is like, you have to let go. So anxiety eventually lets go. And then she's saying on the ground, and she's like, I was just trying to protect her. You know, like everything that she was doing was trying to protect Riley. So that also goes to show that, like what you said, that all of our emotions, they serve a purpose. And it's not because anxiety was trying to ruin everything for Riley. It's because it has the purpose of looking into the future. Okay, how can we prepare for what's to come? But then all of that comes together really beautifully when all the emotions come together. Mm-hmm. So they basically hug Riley's sense of self. So all the emotions together hug her sense of self. And this is also when all the memories have come back from before. And that's when Riley starts to be able to ground herself.
Yeah. And they demonstrate that really well, like how she does ground herself when she's sitting in like the bench area of the I don't know what to call it, like on the bench.
Pretty much it.
Yeah. I'm sorry to any hockey fans.
She was in the
there.
sin bin.
Yeah, so she was sin binned, and it shows how she uses her senses. Like, you know, she notices where her feet are on the ground. She draws attention to her breathing. And that's a huge part of it. Like how she uses her breath to help her like stay centered or become centered, I guess, in this moment. Mm-hmm. And I actually didn't even realize what was happening there. Like it just seemed like just she was like taking everything in. And then like 20 seconds into the process, I was like, I see what's happening here.
That's so funny because I noticed it right away.
Yeah.
Like how every single thing was like she could hear the skates on the ice. She felt the sun on her face. Like everything was bringing her back to this moment. Yeah. And I thought that was such a great moment.
Yeah. So now you know what happens.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, I think it really is like obviously these movies are made with kids in mind to help them understand the emotions. I would argue that they're much more directed towards adults. But anyway, I think like it really is a good you will get a good understanding of how the emotions can impact your performance in sport. So definitely recommend.
Yeah, and before we kind of wrap it up there, like, and you can answer this for yourself too, but one of my favorite moments of the whole movie was at the peak right there when all of that happened and when the emotions hugged her sense of self, because I think that goes to show that, you know, when we can accept what we're feeling and what we're going through, that we're not trying to push it away, but accept that it's all part of the experience and it makes us who we are and what we're doing and all of these things. When we let that in, that's really when we can go forward.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, that is like, I think, the fundamental message in the movie. I think one of my favorite moments, which isn't as like, I thought the way they represented anxiety when she was having the panic attack, like basically it looks like a hurricane inside her brain.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good because that is what it can feel like when you have all of these thoughts that you're trying to like, you know, protect yourself, basically.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really good representation.
And just to bring it back to the first thing that we said, so it's so interesting that they showed it from one of the first moments in the movie. Oh, my friends are not going to be at high school with me. And then fast forward to that point, everything has built up to this point where she's trying to control her future so much and is scared of what's going to happen and what that means. That there's such a hyper focus on these certain things that's going to allow her to do that to a detriment of her as a person and also as a player.
And we were about to wrap up, but it also makes me think about how, like, it's a really good portrayal of how too much of anything isn't good. Like, obviously, she got to the point where she had a panic attack. So that's how much anxiety there was. But also on the other end, like, we kind of saw, like, joy. If it was only joy without anxiety, then Riley isn't really herself either. You know, or if there was only anger, then, you know, that's also not going to be healthy for that person. So it was a good insight into, like, you know, all of these emotions are healthy to have, you know, to a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, I could keep talking about this movie for 30 minutes, I think, if not even longer.
But we won't.
We won't, no.
No.
We'll tell you to go watch it instead.
Yeah, we'll talk about it once we shut this off. I don't know. You know, I've used many words,
Yeah. But if there's anything you think, maybe you watched a movie or something that you thought of and you would like us to talk about, we would be happy to discuss it again.
We would love to. Yeah.
So please let us know.
Yeah. And once again, thank you for joining us. And
remember to use the space in between.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
No, you'll hear us soon.
You'll hear us soon.
Bye.